Welcome to Dining Delights. I'm Chef Chris, and today for our restaurant quality meal made at home, we are actually going to make Eggs Benedict from scratch. Traditional brunch dish, poached eggs, Hollandaise sauce, English muffins, and we even have some Canadian bacon to go on top. Now, the first thing that's one of the most important pieces is obviously the base of our Eggs Benedict. So we are going to make English muffins from scratch today. English muffins are much simpler than you would think, and they are much more delicious than anything that you buy at the store. One of my favorite recipes, we're going to go in with some warm water right into our bowl. Then we're going to add some sugar and the yeast. Okay, and I want to stir this up to actually start the activation process. If you want to let this sit for a few minutes, that's perfectly okay. Usually takes a couple minutes for the yeast to activate, but once it starts to get nice and bubbly, it's ready to go. And this is nice warm water. It's actually starting to activate right on the top, so I feel pretty comfortable that this is going to work really well. Mix one more quick stir. Then we're going to go in with some salt and flour, just like this. And we're going to make a nice dough, and we're going to mix it right in the bowl to start with, just like this. And we want to get it to combine right into a ball in the bowl, and then we're just going to knead it for a minute, and we'll put it right back in the bowl to let it rise. It does have to rise. Whoops. Now it's time to go in with the best kitchen tool of all, your hands, right? Bring it together. And it's a nice soft dough once it comes together, very smooth. We can get it right here. We're going to go right onto the counter. We're just going to knead it for a few minutes. The objective of kneading is we want to build those gluten strands to make it so it's nice and will hold together very well and has a nice crumb to it. We also want to let it rise so it gets nice and smooth. We're going to keep collecting all these pieces that we're missing. Now, if it starts to get too sticky, what I do is add some semolina flour. Semolina is a little bit better than regular traditional flour, and I'm just going to use just a touch, like that. Knead it. Get the dough nice and smooth. We do have a touch more flour in here to add. Get it in our dough. And if it becomes a little sticky, that's okay. It's going to rise, and we'll be able to add some more flour or semolina if we need to. A little semolina here. And we have a nice smooth dough. Going to work it. We're going to put it back in the bowl. We're going to cover it up with plastic wrap, and we're going to let it rest and rise for about 60 minutes. Our dough's had its time to rise. It looks very, very nice. It's more than doubled in size, nice and smooth. And we'll go ahead and kind of knock some air out of it, and we're going to take it out of the bowl. Just like this. Lay some semolina down on the counter. We want to make sure we get our dough divided into 8 equal pieces. So I like to do 1, right in half, 2, 3, 4. And they don't have to be perfect. They are all going to be very similar in shape. Now, I like to start out with something like nice like this. If you think of the size and shape of an English muffin, I'm going to go right there. Okay, just like that. And we're going to keep getting the same initial shape of our muffin. Okay. And the rounder they are, One's not very round. The rounder they are, the better off that they will look, more like a traditional style English muffin. So try and get them as round as you can. And we'll get these last couple here. Okay. Now, I like to go with just a touch more semolina on the top, and then I can push them down. Make them a little bit flatter once they have that extra semolina. Okay, and then we're going to let these go, covered up with a tea towel for about 10 or 15 minutes, and they'll be ready to cook. One of the most important ingredients in Eggs Benedict is obviously the Hollandaise sauce, right? So we have a quick recipe for a Hollandaise sauce that you will absolutely love, and it's so simple. It's a double boiler, so we're going to put a bowl on top of a pan of boiling water. Make sure, no matter what, that water does not touch the bottom. You want just the residual steam to cook it. You don't want any water touching it, otherwise it will start cooking your eggs right away in there. And what I'm going to do is pop, really easy, lemon into the juicer, and I'm going to go with 1/2 of the lemon because it needs about a tablespoon, and that looks just like enough. I'm going to go with a tablespoon of water. Now the water is going to add a little bit of lightness and kind of an airiness to the sauce. You don't need to put it in, but I would recommend it. Then we're going to go 3 egg yolks. We'll take the eggs right out. We're going to separate those right out. 1. 2, and of course big number 3. Okay, now I'm going to whisk these all together until I get a nice smooth consistency. One thing I do like to do at this point, which is not in the recipe, is we want to just keep whipping until it's nice and light and has some air bubbles in it. I think those air bubbles really help that Hollandaise set, and it gives it a little bit lighter texture. Then we're going to go onto the double boiler. You may need a towel because sometimes the bowl does get hot. And we are going to start getting our eggs to thicken up. And they will thicken up pretty quickly. And you will notice it'll start to get kind of like you're thickening a sauce, or the texture of maybe ketchup or mayonnaise is what we're looking for to start. And as soon as that starts to thicken, we're going to add some of our butter. I'm going to bring the butter right over here. Now my butter was completely melted, but I wanted it to cool down a little as I put it in. I don't want it to curdle my eggs. So a lot of times people will get that nice butter melted to pour in here, and it'll be too hot and curdle the eggs. We don't want that. Mine actually set up a little bit, but it'll be just fine. We're starting to get thick. I'm going to grab some of that butter, start whisking it in. Okay, more butter, whisk it in, and now we can go all the butter, just like that, and we'll get our Hollandaise sauce nice, thickened up. Just takes a second, and then we're going to take it right off the heat. And as we talked about, that nappe texture, there you go. It's almost there. Might go a little bit longer on here. Constantly stirring. The constant stirring is a requirement to make sure that this sauce doesn't break. And when I mean broken, you will be able to see the difference between the sections of butter and the sections of egg. They will actually completely separate. And here we have Hollandaise right here. It's nice, creamy, smooth. I'm going to turn our burner off. Now, to season it, I like a little bit of Tabasco to go in. And then you can also put a pinch of salt and pepper. Now, you want to keep this someplace just where it can stay warm, about room temperature. If you turn it up and add any more heat to it, it will break. and you don't want it to break. You want it to stay nice and smooth. So find a nice spot to keep it where it's going to stay just above room temperature, maybe right next to your stove, and it'll be all ready for you when it's time to put it on top of those Eggs Benedict. Our flat top grill pan is been over a medium-high heat, getting nice and warm. It's going to be ready for our English muffins, and let's look at those. Oh, look at how beautiful after they got to rise that additional 15 minutes or so. We're going to add a little bit of the semolina to the pan, and I'm going to take these, and you'll notice their bottom is going to have a nice flat top, a nice flat bottom, so it's going to make a flat top on the English muffin. So I'm going to turn them over as I put them on the pan. Just like this. And oh, if you could just smell this, it smells like fresh bread cooking, but it doesn't smell like a traditional fresh bread. It's like nothing you've ever smelled. It's unbelievable for fresh bread cooking on a griddle like this. We're going to let these go for about 5 minutes, and then we'll turn them right over. That's been about 8 minutes on the first side of these, and look at how, as we turn these over, look how beautiful that color is. Doesn't that look like an English muffin? So I'm going to flip them all. Oh, that one's a little bit perfect. Okay. Go right there. Now, this is the trick. Once you get them here, you want to push down just a hair like this, and you will make them more flattened, more English muffin style looking, and they will look much more traditional, and they will maintain that flat shape. And we have about 5 minutes to go, and they'll be all set. Our English muffins look like they're all done. The time is up. We're going to take them all off here and get them right onto a plate. Look at those, how beautiful those look. Doesn't get much better than that. So we have now completed our Hollandaise sauce. We have the top of our Benedict, we have the bottom of our Benedict, the base. Now we're going to work on a few of the other things. We definitely need some poached eggs. Now, as a chef, I get a lot of questions about poached eggs all the time. How do you do it? What's the best way? And I'm here to show you the absolute easiest, almost foolproof method for poaching eggs. And that is a saute pan with some water in it, nothing else. You want to bring it up to a simmer. You can see those little soda pop bubbles. That is bringing it right up to a simmer. I'm going to crack an egg right here into a glass bowl. I'm going to take that glass bowl and I'm going to put it in the water, and I'm going to let some of that water go right into it. Then I'm in turn going to wait till the egg starts to set, and I'm going to roll it right out into the pan like that. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to get 3 eggs in there. Just in case, you always want to do one extra one, just in case as you're making them that you have an extra that's not broken. So we're going to do the same thing, right into the water, roll right out, and one more. Now what this process does is helps hold that whole egg together as it starts the cooking process, so you don't end up with a big swirl of stuff. You might have some of that fine albumin, some of the fine whites might go through the pan. That's okay. We're just looking for that perfect shape of that egg. Now, on the same grill pan that I used to make these English muffins, I still have some of that semolina. I'm just going to scrape it off to the side because we have some ham or Canadian bacon we want to get nice and warm to go on top of our Eggs Benedict. So while our eggs are poaching, we're going to go ahead and get that ham down. Now we want to get a nice sear on this, get it warmed all the way through. It will kind of add a little bit of caramelization and a little bit of different type of flavor to it. You want to have some good caramelized flavor on it. There's nothing better than once you get this down and get a nice crust on the outside. All right, we'll get this Canadian bacon flipped. Just like this. And time to start building our Eggs Benedict. So we need a nice base. We're going to cut open one of these fancy English muffins we made. Okay, you can see perfectly delicious. A little bit soft, but they're going to be just fantastic. We're going to take our ham right on top, just like that. Going to go in, grab our egg. You can see that white is just set perfectly. Drain it well. Going to go right on top of that one, and we'll pick the best looking one here. And you can see how easy these are and how pretty they look and how they were so simple to do. Now we got to get our hollandaise sauce right up on top of that, just like that. Just a touch more. And then traditional garnish, some paprika over the top. And we have delicious brunch, no mess, no fuss, a lot of fun, and your friends will be super impressed. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you got to see how easy it is to make English muffins and how impressive this brunch can be for your family and friends. Recipes will be available at cookwithchefchris.com as always, and I look forward to seeing you again and having you come and visit us. Thank you.